Hello, welcome friends. Welcome to this very special episode. Uh, we have a special guest who needs no introduction. With no further delay, let's welcome both Vishy Anand and Aruna Anand.
Hi.
Welcome
Hi.
Anand, welcome Aruna.
Hi.
Hi. So, first of all, those who are not aware, today is also a very special day. It's your anniversary. Happy anniversary to both of you.
Thank
And
you.
and I'm glad that both of you agreed to join on this day for this show. Big respect.
Okay.
Shall we wish to the audience? Shall we wish happy anniversary to them on the chat? Uh, Aruna. So yesterday night I got a message from one of your fan, and I'll actually read the message. So she messaged me in Instagram, saying that what is this? Yeah, her name is Sanika Balwali. She actually gave me also a reminder, like, do you know tomorrow is their anniversary, Aruna ma'am's anniversary? And if you happen to wish them because of this message, then please wish them on behalf of me as well. I am Aruna ma'am's big fan and have a lot of respect for her and for Anand sir, of course. Well, thank you, Sanika.
Thank
Thank you.
And yeah, talking about this anniversary, I also remember the joke. I think it is there in Mind Masters also. Yeah, this 2706.
Yeah.
Who keeps the rating? What was it?
Yeah.
It was about some combination number, no?
It was the combination to a safe, and she told me it's easy to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her actually for some time the ratings have been rounded off to 5 and 10, so I wouldn't remember it easily.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well,
Yeah. So, yeah. So my first question to Aruna, like, I know this has been asked to you many number of times, but this is one thing I would like to start with. So you had a very different lifestyle before marriage. You were a dancer. You had your own work and everything. And once you got married, everything kind of changed drastically, right? Like you started traveling and this chess world. How tough it was initially to deal with such thing?
I think I had no idea what the chess world was, and I had no idea. Only after I got engaged to Anand, I even saw what a chessboard looked like.
You mean you did not
They
know the
told
rules
me
before?
I did not know the rules. My brother got one chessboard. I remember he didn't even have all the pieces, and he told me some black and white squares, 64 squares. All this he taught me, and then he told me whenever Anand plays, I have to be very quiet and not disturb him. Then I thought it would be so difficult because I like to talk now. What will I do?
Mm-hmm.
But soon as we got married, 3 days later, we went to Dortmund for what was our honeymoon, and he was playing chess. And I think all these chess players who were there, they gave some card. I thought they were going to be nice to me, so they gave one card that said that to Vishwanathan Anand, who was a very good player, and now that you are married, be ready to lose some to 100
50
rating
points.
or 50 rating points. Or something.
Seriously? This I did not
Yes,
know.
yes.
yeah, all the participants of the Donner Memorial
Mm-hmm.
got together and signed a card. Vishy, are you ready to lose 50 points? Congrats, something like that.
So it was
But
there was so much pressure on me.
But it went actually other way around, no? He started gaining rating and he started playing
Yeah,
even
he
better,
played
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I gained points in Dortmund and then in Las Palmas later that year. So yes, I moved up quite a bit.
And Dortmund is the place where this wasabi incident took place? Like Aruna having first time Japanese sushi and wasabi
Yeah.
hitting.
Yeah,
The day you beat Topam.
must be, yeah.
Yeah. Anand was also, I think, you introduced me to Japanese food also in Kalve Olympiad. So that was also my first time. I did not have sushi
Oh,
before.
you didn't know before that? Okay.
I didn't even know how sushi looked like. So you're the one
Okay.
who taught me.
Right.
And I have got this very nice combination with Anand, in Batsoden, in this Japanese restaurant, we would go and we order sushi. So they have some kind of combination sushi where it is mixture of tuna and salmon. Now he likes salmon in sushi and I like tuna, so it just fits perfectly when we go. So I take all the tuna, he takes all the salmon.
Yes, exactly. 3 and 3, and we'll get 6 each. Yeah.
Yeah. This World Championship matches, yeah. So after Akhil was born, I think Anand played what, 3 World Championship matches by now, and the first one was
Yeah.
Gelfand.
Moscow, Chennai, and Sochi.
Yeah. So first one was Gelfand. So I remember when we were working, when first time I got to know, Akhil will not be coming to Moscow for the match. This was initially a shock for me. So I want to ask both of you from a different perspective. Like for Anand, how difficult it was. You used to tell me, I remember during our walks, that when you go back home after months, sometimes Akhil will not even be able to recognize you because okay, he was a toddler and you were away for months, and then again you had to start from zero. So how did you manage that? And to Aruna, my question is, when you came to Moscow, and I have seen how much responsibility you take in terms of maintaining all the logistics, dealing with organization, FIDE. Like, we don't have to do anything apart from chess. Everything you take care of, all the pressure, the pressure apart from chess openings, let's say. How did you manage this without having Akhil there? Like, so you're playing a part which is very important, and also there is this mother part, and leaving a baby in Chennai and then taking this huge responsibility. How difficult it was for both of you?
I think to bring Akhil when he was a baby, I think it would have been very difficult for him, because as a baby he requires space, and then there's food and climate. I don't think he would have enjoyed it, and it is not right to tell a baby or any child that he has to follow a routine because the father has a specific routine. So I think it would have been highly unjust both on Akhil and Anand to have brought Akhil there. Even now, for tournaments, we have never taken Akhil because we feel that Anand has a specific routine that shouldn't be disturbed. At the same time, if Akhil cannot enjoy himself or be with Anand or, have something else to do, it is not right to bring Akhil to such an environment also. So we've taken him for a lot of simuls and exhibitions, but never really for a chess tournament. Also, I think 1 month in Moscow would have been very difficult for him as a baby.
And you were talking,
because I would not have been able to dedicate time. I think also he was just barely 1 year. I think it would have been very, very difficult for him to acclimatize and stay in a hotel room for 1 month.
No, that is for sure. But for you also, it must be tremendously difficult, no, to stay away for months.
I think every time you would take Anand to work, I would connect on Skype with my mom, and we would have to talk to Akhil. And every time I would hear Anand's footsteps, I would quickly disconnect Skype and pretend I was doing a lot of work.
And Anand, how about you? Like
yeah, well, it's not that you would forget, but the problem is if a child gets used to your presence, then they get more and more familiar. But equally, the reverse works, that you disappear for a month and then they just get used to life without you. And then you need some time that they get used to your presence again. Obviously, as he got older, it became quicker. But in the beginning, yes, every time I came back, it's almost I had to introduce myself, get used to his timings and his routines, and go from there.
Right. And okay, this also reminds me another thing, that Akhil now has a chess coach, right? Who, in my opinion, I always say this. First thing, he is the bravest man. Because imagine I have to teach Sachin Tendulkar's son how to hold a bat. I wouldn't be able to do so. So one, he is bravest man, and second, he must be a very efficient coach, because from what I hear, Akhil has got tremendous plus score against Anand, which only any player can dream about. So he is beating his appa all the time. Yeah. What do you think, Aruna? Anand will be able to level this score anytime?
Not under my watch.
Not on.
Because many times Akhil will challenge Anand to a game, and from the kitchen I will send a message to Anand, quickly lose in 10 moves because he has to start doing homework after that.
So Akhil is learning chess, but have you considered making him a professional chess player, or he is learning chess just to sharpen his brain and so on?
I think it came quite natural to Akhil because somehow if I have to force him and make him do something, I would feel very, very guilty. He was curious about chess because I guess it is there in the environment. So because of that, he started asking questions. So we thought, let's get a master home so that he feels more comfortable learning it. And somehow he seems to like it a lot. I think he, more than playing, I think he likes the thing of solving puzzles and I think this whole thing of you can checkmate and win, especially when they play online. You can see that many times they're able to take the game to mate, and I think that makes them feel very happy that they see how you actually go and take each of your opponent's pieces. It comes naturally to him and he enjoys it. I think more than that, it is up to him where he wants to take it. Sure. I would not want to force him to be anything.
Sure. And he has also got. Yeah, sure. And he also.
And for me, it was always clear that I wanted him. I wanted him to know what chess is, so that he knows something about what I do, but nothing more. I mean, beyond that, it's up to him really. Mm-hmm. So we can't dictate the pace.
But you also take some classes time to time, like show some combinations or
not really. I don't think if Anand starts showing, it becomes very quickly. It becomes either a physical contest or it is who can throw the chess pieces faster, something like that. But
yeah, it just becomes too playful.
But every time Akhil finishes his chess class, even when Anand was in Germany during this whole lockdown and all, moment he finishes chess class, like even the master would not have logged off. Immediately, Akhil will send the game to Anand. Or even online, if he wins any game, immediately within a second, he would have sent it on Skype to Anand. And Anand has to see it and tell Akhil, oh, you played well, this move was nice, that move was nice. Mm-hmm. So I think that is how he likes to keep it, and we are quite happy to keep it that way.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think it's very important that child should do what actually he likes to do. I mean,
I think Akhil has so many interests. He loves to dance. He dances. Again, it comes naturally to him.
I saw that.
It's not that he likes to dance.
It's genetic. It comes genetically because
Could be. Yes, it comes from Anand.
That's what I was going to say. That I saw Aruna. You were there in Hari's marriage, and we all witnessed. We had the privilege to see you dancing a little bit there. But it was actually Anand's dancing in Deepan's marriage, which is viral among the chess players. Like every chess player by now have seen Anand dancing in Deepan's marriage. So it is coming genetically, and probably it is coming from Anand. So
Akhil is a better dancer.
Okay, I'll take that. And he's also doing some computer coding, and he's also
he seems to enjoy coding. He does coding. He has many interests. He's into space and he's into animals, and he has a lot of questions about why animals are a certain way. Okay, for a 9-year-old, he's highly curious, and
sure.
Many times we learn things from him. He tells us something. First we think, what is he talking about? And then we see what he's saying actually is absolutely right. And then nowadays we just agree with him and say, yes, you're right.
This is something, a very good habit that I got from Anand also. He is also into all this nice series and with wildlife, space, mathematics.
Yeah.
Like when I met him, I realized how much this person actually, how versatile he is. It's not just about, just he knows only about chess and nothing else. It's like wide knowledge and everything. So he also infected me with the Monty Python and Faulty Towers and other things.
Yeah. Part of a good education. But yes, I mean, I also like meandering around Wikipedia and I've given you a bunch of nature shows.
Many.
It always was kind of interesting for me.
Yeah, there was many. All right. Also, there is one thing I wanted to ask both of you. It's completely different subject. I don't know if many viewers, if they know or not. Both of you met Fischer, right? Once.
Yeah.
Can you share how was the experience? Like in Reykjavik, it was, right? How was your experience with Fischer?
Well, so the way it happened was I was playing in the Reykjavik. I played a Blitz tournament, and then Helgi told me, would you like to meet Bobby Fischer. So, of course, you don't say no to that.
Mm-hmm.
But it never even occurred to me to try and make the effort because I assumed it was impossible. So only when Helgi offered it, I thought, wow, is that even possible? So we then arranged that Helgi would pick up Bobby in his place, and then we would go and do something. And of course, when we got to the place where Bobby lives, he says, I'm just going to park here because Bobby likes to come from a direction you don't expect and just jump into the car. So just be ready. And then he wanted to go to some special restaurant, and you find out some very interesting tidbits. He said, I was wondering, how he kept himself busy in Reykjavik.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he used to get into a bus at the terminus and then just drive around the whole bus route till it came back to that terminus, and then he would come back home. And his idea was that way he got to see the whole city, and he would look for interesting restaurants and things like that he wanted to try. He was still, he had some of his old paranoia. He was worried that the CIA was watching him and this and that. So it was slightly jarring, but mostly, and I felt his chess had held up reasonably well, even if it was a 1972 version of chess. That chess had held up well because I showed him some games from the recent Vike tournament. And funnily enough, the embarrassing thing was I mixed up the moves in some position. Mm-hmm. And then Bobby's eyes lit up and he said, oh, this is very interesting. I didn't know this. And I was trying to remember exactly how the game went, but then later on I realized I just mixed up the moves. But anyway, so we analyzed a bit of this old magnetic chess set, the ones.
And he was carrying.
And yeah, he was carrying. Mm-hmm. And subsequently I found a few in my collection as well. And then, maybe you want to tell the story of him in New Jersey in the Indian area.
He was very keen on this pain balm, this Amrutanjan pain balm.
Fischer,
in fact, he told me that.
Let me digest this. Fischer was curious about Amrutanjan pain balm.
Yeah.
No, not curious. He wanted it.
He
used to go around the ethnic neighborhoods in every city he was in and search for Amrutanjan.
So in fact, he asked me if I could send him some, and he took down our address, and he said maybe I'll visit you someday. So okay, it was, but you could see he was quite a charismatic personality. He had a great height and a very good command. Okay, it was quite an honor to meet such a great person.
And he was still paranoid.
Game of Adams.
Adams and Kamsky.
What, Adams and Kamsky?
There was a game between Adams and Kamsky, I think, in Vaikanze, and that's the one I showed him.
Okay. And this is the game which you mixed up the move order and...
And then I was very annoyed with myself. But anyway,
but he didn't,
that positioned me.
He didn't emphasize on playing Fischer Random or Blitz with you?
No, not at all. We didn't really have time to play. We at the restaurant while we were waiting for the meal on this magnetic set, I showed him a few things. That's basically what happened. And for the rest, we were just talking. He just felt computers are killing creativity, and we had that conversation.
Okay, which is in a way true, right?
Yeah, well, at that point, I felt that computers were either showing us new things, but they were killing a lot of old things. And I still think that today, but you could make that case.
Mm-hmm. This is actually one thing I wanted to ask you in the previous episode, but I forgot. That do you enjoy working on opening now or pre-computer era, like when you find some ideas on 7th move or 8th move and you're like, yeah, let's play this. Do you enjoy that kind of opening work or you enjoy this kind of opening work, what we do today?
Well, I've forgotten what it is like to do that kind of opening work, but both are enjoyable. It's always the satisfaction of finding something new. It's just that nowadays, because of the tools we have, you find something new, but much later in the line. And before, you could be surprised much more often. Even now, when I analyze without a computer, very often I will analyze a position and then we go down some fascinating line, then we come back and we start again. And we have started in the wrong position. And then the second line we analyze is illegal. And then, this kind of stuff happens. But of course, when you try to enter it on a computer, it immediately gets corrected.
Right.
So it must have been like that before. There must have been fascinating bits of analysis which white or black is gain the tempo and so on. I think both can be very interesting. Still, the most interesting bit is when you have a position in your head and you can't find the solution, but you can't stop either. I think that's what we live for, really.
Right. Aruna, during Hari's marriage, I think some tournament was going on, Tal Memorial probably, and was it Tal Memorial? Anyway, some tournament where Anand was playing during Hari's marriage, and I was just sitting next. I think Tal Memorial was going on, yeah. So I was just sitting next to you, and I saw that you are like all the other chess players. You are also watching Anand's game live. Interestingly, I noticed that you are watching in follow chess. Now I know when you are accompanying Anand in tournament hall, you can read a lot about the face expression and so on. But when you are looking at follow chess, I want to know how do you deal with the tension? Do you actually understand what the position is? Do you feel tense because you are completely absorbed, like what is going on there? So I really want to know.
Sometimes I switch on the engines to see evaluation, but if it is like, it's showing a huge plus, then I get much more stressed because, then, if he's not playing the move, the computer is showing, then you're not sure what he's do. And sometimes you get very angry, why can't you just play what the computer say and finish this quickly? Because then Anand will explain that his win was much more subtle, and it was a surer way of winning, and he'll have a big explanation. But there's a 2-move win, he should just play it and relieve me of the stress quickly. But I find that on an app it's easier to follow, you're doing other stuff, and now also at home we have screen times and everything, so I can't just be seen, logging on to a chess website and following. So this app is very, very useful.
Well, it is useful for you, but I think it is nightmare for me. I don't know about Anand, because this is what happened in my house also. When I come back, my mom will say, or Sudeshna will say, why didn't you play this move? Because chess 24 is showing, or the graph goes high. Earlier I used to give some sort of explanation, because this is some big strategy or fortress, and now they understand nothing, no such things. I simply missed it.
Yes, it's. I had the same experience with journalists. That up till even 96, 97, you could, when they would confront you, you could still tell them some story because the engine was not strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
But as the engine got better and better, they got more and more confident. And in the press conference, they'd pin you down. Did you blunder this?
Yeah.
No, I was thinking creatively, no, did you blunder this? And then you have to end up admitting yes. And of course, more recently, the players just assume that they're the two people who know the least about what happened. In chess terms, obviously, we know the most about what transpired at the board, but we're the ones who know the least about what could have happened. And so when we get to the press conference, the first question we ask is, what did it say? So the tables have turned completely.
No, I have this feeling that earlier players were getting more respect from this perspective. Like imagine when Botvinnik or Petrosian or Fischer, after a game, nobody would dare them to say, like you blundered this. They will have some doubt. But nowadays with computer, even if you play a game or Kramnik plays a game, people are looking at computer and they're able to say, no, this was right, that this was wrong. I don't think this was happening in olden days without computer.
Yes, definitely it was clear that when the top chess players brought something special to the table, then there was an aura about them. Mm-hmm. And once your phone and your watch and your PC, everything can give you the right answer, then that aura is gone. Now, of course, you respect the players because you know that they're performing without these tools, but still it doesn't feel like they're doing something magical which no one else can understand.
Right. I have prepared some rapid fire questions. Shall we do that? We'll start with Aruna. Okay. So spontaneously then, Anand the father or Anand the husband?
Father.
Akhil the dancer or Akhil the painter?
Akhil the dancing painter.
Wow. Favorite sports person other than Anand. It can be from any field.
Federer, Zidane, and Messi.
You are into football. I did not know this actually. That's nice.
Follow.
Very nice.
No, she can give you a lot of details about the Liga and all.
Yeah. Heavy influence on of Anand. So Anand once said, if a biopic is made on him, he would prefer Amir Khan to play the role. Whom would you prefer to play your role?
If Amir Khan is playing Anand's role, I will play my own role.
Best answer. Okay. Favorite holiday destination in India?
I think any wildlife reserve would be.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you could change one habit of Anand, what would that be?
Only one habit I can change?
Yeah, for now just only one. Live only one. Later you can tell me 100 habits.
The worst thing is both Anand and Akhil have the same annoying habits. And sometimes Anand tells Akhil, you should not do that. Then 5 minutes later, he's doing the same thing.
And this list is
like
quite big.
Biting nails.
Biting nails. Yeah.
Or sometimes, like Akhil has this habit of holding his milk and walking around the house. So one day Anand was telling him, when you eat, you should sit in one place, you should concentrate, you should not walk around, it is bad. Then 10 minutes later, Akhil goes to school and he's carrying one bowl of cereals and walking all over the house. He said, only now you told big lecture about walking, now what are you doing with a bowl of cereal? He says he's 9 years, so he's walking with the milk. I said, yeah, you're 50 years, you're walking with cereals. What is the big deal?
Okay,
but it's nice to see that, you think you've evolved as a person and then a child comes along and, shows exactly that, many areas you're just the same. So
before Anand fires me, I think I should move to next question. Favorite cuisine apart from Indian food?
Mexican.
Okay. Tell me the first word that comes in mind while describing the following people. There are 5. Amir Khan.
Cute.
Hans Walter.
Hans Walter. Dependable.
Good. Danailov.
I think that said it.
But I have to give.
Speechless.
I have to be appreciative.
Some things can't be conveyed in words.
No, I'm appreciative of him because thanks to him, I realized I had skills that I was not capable of. I think a lot of my skills in handling difficult people, handling impossible situations with a very calm mind, I think I owe it to him. So thank you very much.
Okay, last 2. Kasparov.
Okay, great champion.
Okay, and Topalov.
Topalov, I would say, is a sports person in the truest sense. He has excellent sportsmanship. Because even when Anand played in Sofia and everybody was saying that, should you be playing in this country, in his country, especially given all the other, I think Anand was very clear that Topalov was a great sports person. He had excellent sportsmanship and he was never capable of doing something that would demean the title or his ability at chess. And for that, I think he showed, even now, I think he always shows a lot of respect to Anand and we have no problem at all. He is a great champion.
Awesome. 3 books that had profound influence on you.
I would say The Kite Runner. Then this book, The Boy in Striped Pyjamas, also was a very moving book. I read it and I really felt very moved. And now we read some books with Akhil, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's a very fascinating book and it has so many layers and, kind of enjoying that book also.
The final one, if you woke up as Anand for one day, what would you do?
Lay my bed.
Amazing. Very smart answers. Moving on to Anand now. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. If Akhil becomes a chess player and there is only one single advice you can give to him, what would that be?
Just play, just be yourself.
Very nice. If you have to challenge someone in any other sport apart from chess, what sport will you choose?
Well, assuming I could play it, I wouldn't mind kicking around with Zidane either.
Faulty Towers or Yes Minister? Favorite series?
That's very tough. Both.
I know it is tough. That's why I asked it.
Yeah, I can't pick one.
Okay.
It feels wrong.
Sure. Your funniest superstition? Maybe I should have asked this to Aruna. Look the way she is looking at you. Maybe she would have been given.
Funniest superstition, well, let's say my pen.
Pen, yeah? Okay. Same like Aruna. 3 non-chess books that had profound influence on you.
Well, when I was young, I enjoyed Cosmos a lot, and influenced me a lot. Then Stephen Hawking's book, Brief History of Time. And
Mind Masters.
well, there you go. Actually, yeah, I guess it made a big impression on me to spend as much time thinking about it and
Sure.
everything, putting the work in.
Sure. No, it's written in a beautiful way. I mean, that is for sure one of the book that has made profound influence on me. So that will be on my top 3 list. So, okay, the strongest chess aspects that comes first in your mind for the following players. Fischer.
Precision.
Kasparov.
Preparation.
Magnus.
End games.
Kramnik.
Clarity of thinking in opening.
And the last one is Ivanchuk.
Ideas popping out of nowhere.
Very nice. Surya's eating capacity or Sandeepan's sleeping capacity? Which is more impressive?
Is Sandeepan watching this show?
For sure. I can assure. Most of the top players are watching. Today I'm not able to see the chat properly, but usually that is the case. And Sandeepan for sure is watching right now.
Okay, then let's go with Sandeepan's sleeping capacity.
Yeah. Although now that I said...
Sasi is waking up capacity as well.
yeah. You remember this yoga thing, yeah? So she
I know, exactly.
Yeah. No, now that I said, I am just also skeptical that maybe Sandeepan is sleeping while the show is going on. But anyway, in case Sandeepan you are watching, yeah, hi from my end. Same what I asked to Aruna. If you could change one habit of Aruna, what would that be? Look at the tough look.
Well, I would change that.
Exactly. I mean, it just shows like, don't you open your mouth, yeah?
What habit I have? Tell me.
I can't think of anything. I'm drawing a blank.
Okay. Tell me the first word that comes in mind while describing the following people. Not like the chess aspect, but describing the following people. Peter Leko.
Love of finesse.
Love? Sorry, what?
Love of finesse.
Peter Swidler.
His English.
Gelfand.
His love for chess.
Okay. Anish Giri. His love for tweet.
Even his love for tweeting, talking, yeah.
Alright. Okay, and the final one, if you wake up as Aruna for one day, what would you do?
I would glare at me. I would glare at him. I would glare at him. It'd be so cool to do that. So.
Also, I thought you will say that you'll serve Anand lots of cakes and pastry, which you normally don't get otherwise.
That is true.
Okay, now coming back to this Batsoden trainings, you remember Aruna, like once all of us were training in Batsoden, and it was all messy. Like we were keeping things all over, and the entire place was scattered. We had but we knew our zone. Yeah, like I knew where my plates are, I knew where my glasses. We had a giant in the team, Peter Heiner, who would keep things in the sky. But it was messy all over.
I'll tell you one story about Peter Heiner. Okay, first time he came to Spain, I think 2002. And I never, I'd seen him before, but I'd seen him only sitting down. I'd never seen him, 3D. He came like in the evening or something, he went to sleep. Next day morning, I get up, not one light was working in my house. And then what happened to all these lights in our house? Then I realized with his head, every bulb he had, he had hit every bulb. Because, we have never seen something so tall. I remember that kitchen light was not working. I'm wondering. And then I couldn't find cereals in my house. Then after some time, I think Anand came into the kitchen. I was standing on top of a ladder and taking it down because he had kept it at his eye level.
Yeah. No, this is what he was doing in Batsoden also. He would keep his stuff somewhere when nobody can get that. And he can happily, take whoever he wants to.
Top predator.
Yeah, exactly. So then one fine day you came. I think you came in after our training was over. And I remember morning when we came for training, the entire place was like so superbly clean. All the utensils were like, properly washed and everything. And then the first thing we tell you is, what did you do to this place? Now we cannot find where things are, yeah? We had nicely, messed up the entire thing, and you come, you clean the house and then get the blame immediately of messing it. So I don't know how you dealt with this hippies, the team of hippies,
No, but okay, I think for both Anand and me, kind of the team became more or less family for us. Like you and Radek were like the babies of the team. And then there's this very nice story from Sochi, okay? Like, when all of you are on the team, you have, like someone will say, like Peter Heiner had a toothache during Sofia, I remember. So we had to nurse him for the toothache. And then I think some shaving blade of his, we had to keep searching and getting. So things like this. And then, okay, you did the fantastic chicken pox and gone.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing it.
So, so okay, for us it was more or less like family, then you get overly... So like in Sochi...
Can I tell the story? Okay. Yeah. So... one day I mentioned to Aruna, Radek's got a headache, and and Aruna immediately got very excited, and she said, "I'll come and help him." And she took her medicine bag, which contains every known in the pharmacy bag, and came to the workroom and said, "Radek, I heard you had a headache. Would you like this medicine? Would you like that medicine?" Radek was really uncomfortable. He said, "I've already got instructions," and then. Aruna realized that Alina had been supplying Radek, and there was no further need. And she felt so bad. She felt like our kid had walked out of the house or something. So,
baby grown up.
Our bird had flown the nest. So we were laughing about that. But that was very funny. I mean, Radek looked up and said, No, I've already got everything.
You were there in Radek's marriage also, no? Both of you were there, no?
Yeah, we went for Radek's marriage, Moscow.
Yeah, that was nice.
There also Vishy danced, by the way.
Yeah, I missed this video completely. What, you were in every...
Yeah, I danced, but many of the guys were dancing, so I could dance without anyone noticing. Yeah. And that was nice. Gajewski, all the Polish brothers were dancing.
Oh my god. In Bengali marriage, somehow this dancing concept is not very popular. But only if I knew that you were willing to dance, then I'm sure I would have arranged a dance party. Especially for you.
Yeah.
Alright. Aruna, we discussed, the previous episode we discussed about the Topolov match. But can we get your perspective? The thing that always remained in my mind was, when we were traveling this 40 hours of journey by car. And there was one moment where in the front seat we had this small chess set. I think we even tried to look at this Catalan Knight A3 idea for quite some time. While you were talking at the back seat, negotiating with FIDE and the organization and everything. What was very impressive was, at that point I really wanted to know what is going on. Whether the match will be postponed or not. But I also know we are not allowed to ask anything apart from chess, especially in Anand's presence. So like no such discussion. And what always remained with me is like you were never, like I can understand that you must be having a lot of anger inside the way they were treating, but from outside he was like you were completely cool. You always had your emotions under control, the way you dealt. So I just want to know how you managed this, and also like what was the journey
in
about?
our marriage there is one secret,
Tell me,
that
please.
during chess tournament neither of us get angry with each other. Especially I never get angry with Anand. He can do anything, he can say anything, but I'll keep quiet. The day that chess tournament gets over, that day he gets it from me. So always during chess tournament, he knows nothing will happen. But okay, jokes aside, I think that was a very, very special situation. And honestly, I myself didn't know what we were getting into, quite honestly, because the situation was so fluid. But what I felt very, proud of myself is that I was able to at least get something in writing before we got on that bus, because I felt incredibly responsible for all of you who put all your trust in Anand and me to take you to Sofia safely and have a match. So there was this burden of trust that I felt that at least I had something in paper and something to back us, that at least we know we'll at least get this 2-day postponement in writing, and we could push for a third day. And also this force measure, it was like almost like a light that lit in my head. Suddenly I realized we could use this force measure clause. And I remember when I called the lawyer, he was actually boarding a flight. He was inside and the plane was about to kind of taxi.
Lawyer?
So the lawyer. So because we had to send a legal notice that we're using this force majeure clause. And I remember everything happened in a matter of 10 minutes. He dictated on the phone, and then I told Fidi, I'm sending this notice. And then everything happened quite quickly. And I remember Anand was also very curious to know what was happening. And then at some point, I told him, I have no answers to give you because everything is just happening. And it just seems to be, because we had to go to the airport and get our luggage back because it was already checked to Sofia. And I remember at that point, Anand told me, after this, I will not ask you any more questions about the match. I will just go and play. And if things don't go well, it will be my fault. I will never again question you. And I think it kind of extended to all of you also.
Yeah, that's a tremendous responsibility. It is huge. Also from my end, I can add that with you around and taking care of everything, I actually never felt away from home.
Sure.
So I also,
Yes, can you join? Okay. 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, Kana. What?
Okay.
Yeah, so like I remember in Sofia also, actually this was happening pretty much everywhere. You'd come to our the training room, you literally take food orders from everyone, and by second day or something you knew who likes what food, and all we had to do was just like after walking, just get up to the room where we used to eat and just get our food perfectly served and everything. It was like done in such a nice way. I can never imagine someone taking that minute care.
No, but those are good times. I remember this in Sofia. We had this BG menu.
BG menu, yeah, exactly.
Such a big revelation for us to have the BG menu.
Yeah,
and even in Moscow also we had this restaurant service. Remember?
Yeah.
We were ordering from very good restaurants.
To the audience, to the audience, BG menu is something like what we have Swiggy here right now, or Zomato, let's say. But back in those days, it was not still not there in India. So for us, it was something really new that we could order from anything.
Just continue with Anand. Akhil is emptying some cereals until I'm just back.
Wonderful. So you usually when you are at home, you spend more time with Akhil, or how does it go? Like when you are training, let's say, or how do you manage this?
No, mostly Aruna spends more time with Akhil. Okay, let's be clear. All essential functions, Akhil needs to be with Aruna, and when it's his turn to relax and have fun, then I can take over. So in the evenings, I'll take mods on, but of course, to get ready for school.
No, you are also sent him to school many times.
Yeah, but in general, he spends more time with Aruna, but already the last few days, for instance, we have our evening hour of running around the building together, things like that. And whenever she goes out, I'll babysit and that sort of thing. So yeah, I spend a fair amount of time, but of course, if you take into account my tournaments and all, then
actually this babysitting
he's much more used to. I mean, their language is much more coordinated. They know before this sentence starts, they know how it's going to finish. For me, still there's a learning curve.
But you are like more his playing buddy.
Yes, we have fun. I'm trying to. Well, I feel that also it's only after some time where I've come back and been here for a while that I can have the confidence to do other things. But at the beginning, it's too much to suddenly insert yourself in some other way. So then it's easier just to keep yourself for the fun bits.
Right, and also there was this. This reminds me before Moscow, I think it was, no? Like you were, I think you were lifting Akhil or something and got some back sprain. Was it Moscow?
Yeah, well, I wish I'd been lifting Akhil and I got a back sprain. I tried to give him company somewhere, and in the children's area, babies area. I mean, he was 1 year old then, and I wanted him to try something, so I thought I'll show him. It was my back.
That's how you got the back sprain. I was under the impression that you sort of lifted him and got.
It was exactly 3 days before Moscow.
Oh my God.
And I left both of them for exactly 45 seconds.
So then I go into the room where Aruna is, and so I thought I don't want to show her what I've done. So I kept my finger on my back, and that way I could stand up straight and think. But of course, eventually she notices everything. She says, "What's your finger doing?"
Yeah.
Well, because he was not standing properly. Then we had to take him to a physiotherapist, get emergency medication.
Yeah, actually
not my finest, but anyway.
Sorry.
Not my finest hour, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, I remember this Swiss ball also kind of came handy in in Moscow, no? Like this big gym ball I had.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, I have.
The one that.
Yeah, the one I brought there. Yeah. So I have one more game. So here you have to close your eyes, and the answer you can give either by pointing at yourself or towards your partner. Okay. Okay. So close your eyes. Yeah. Who cooks better? Yeah. Actually, your fingers are not visible, so it has to be slightly up. So yeah. Okay. Who has the better sense of humor?
Can't see what I'm doing.
Who is lazier? Who apologized first after a fight?
I think you have to show both.
This is getting hilarious. Who is more annoying when hungry?
No, but actually Anand never says he's hungry.
Okay.
And I can't think of either of us getting too annoyed with that.
Okay. Who is more stubborn? Okay. Who spends more money? This is going to be epic. Who is the bigger baby when sick?
Bigger
baby when sick. Well,
both actually.
Okay. Who is stricter with Akhil?
Me only.
You cannot say. You have to just point finger. Okay.
Pause.
Who has the last say in an argument? Who is always right? You guys will see the video later. Okay. Who calls or texts more?
Who calls? Both again.
Yeah.
Who wakes up early? Who buys better gifts?
Who buys better gifts?
Better gifts.
think Amazon buys better gifts.
All right, thank you so much for doing this. Well, you will
I
get.
think the separate one, but you answered mine as well, so it's good.
Yeah.
This is
Was it for both of us? Okay.
Yeah, it was for both of you. It was for, no, I thought doing the compatibility test will be very difficult because okay, how to coordinate. So I thought I'll do it this way.
Yeah.
Also I am kind of afraid that if I do compatibility test, Anand will fire me later if the truth comes out.
Yeah.
So okay, what is the best gift, Aruna, you have ever got so far from Anand? Like in anniversary. I'm going to get killed from Anand. Like I don't know why I'm doing this. I really don't know why I'm doing this.
Best gift, I think I told Anand this also. I think it was 2014 when it was actually my 40th birthday. I think what Anand did in Hunty was, I would say, the best gift I got.
Wonderful.
And last year in May, I mean, there were several. I remember for my birthday in 2005, she flew to Berlin to meet me. I would meet her from Mulheim.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we were going to have a holiday there, and she had bought something. But last year was very special. It was our 50th.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my 50th birthday.
Yeah.
And of course, my 50th birthday was only coming in December.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, look, the schedule is chaotic. Let's finish your 50th birthday celebrations now. So she had planned a holiday, or in fact, I should say 2 holidays. So she planned one and then she booked the next one as well. So we did about 10 days in Rajasthan, half in Ranthambore and half near Jaipur. And then we flew back home and we went to a place between Karnataka and Goa. It's an island, Centacor, and we stayed there for a week. And that was very nice. But the nicest bit was I got back home and Akhil and Aruna knew that the holiday, where we were going, and I was only told we are going on holiday, but I had no idea where. And poor Akhil, I mean, he did such a great job in not telling me. I mean, he tried his best to tell me, but he knew that he had to be, was fighting the desire to tell me, but he kept the secret. So that's probably the most impressive gift from him. He kept the secret for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Okay, the next one is coming from Harika, so I am not responsible, Anand. She asked if you remember.
It's your show.
It's my show, yeah, but she is asking in the live chat also. She is asking that I should ask this. So she is saying if you remember the date when you first met Aruna.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do?
December 24th.
Respect.
And 1995, and that was also the day I won in Terra
In 2000.
in 2000. So
Ah,
it was a nice.
that's very nice. Yeah, that's a very nice. And Aruna, your birthday is 30th June, no?
Yes.
So basically, immediately after marriage, there was your birthday, like within 3 days.
On our birthday only we traveled to Dortmund. Remember?
That night.
Okay. This I did not know. All right. There is another funny incident that I remember that once Akhil called Amir Khan, no? How was it?
Many times he called.
Many calls because it's in the contacts book,
Mm-hmm.
and of course AA, so it's one of the top names. And well, you know the rest. Akhil will take the phone and say.
And Amir Khan will have no clue, yeah, because he'll be saying, yeah, Anand is calling, and then he'll pick up and get some baby boys.
It was very nice of him to return the call, and then Aruna was very surprised, but then she realized what happened, and then apologized. That's how it ends.
What was even better, Akhil somehow managed to upload Wheels of the Bus onto Akhil's Twitter account.
What?
Do you know? Yeah, to my Twitter. He uploaded one of his videos onto my thing. He just click.
Just one single click and then gets uploaded.
Yeah.
We were talking about dancing, yeah, like Akhil's dancing and then Anand's dancing talent and everything. I saw a photo once where you both were doing salsa. How was that experience? You learned salsa, no? You went for some classes.
Not really. I mean, this was a typical.
No, but we went for classes.
We went for classes, and
we had to stop the classes.
No, because I was never in sync. I mean, within 3 steps, I lost. I was not in sync with her anymore, and then it just became a joke.
No,
but then,
you were very fond.
Yeah, but then, of course, for some newspaper, we had to do it again. But that's silly. You cannot do salsa for a photographer. Maybe a videographer, it's possible for a photographer. So of course, he just did something like this. He took a picture and he said they're doing salsa. But it was earlier at class. It was quite tough.
Right.
Because she seemed to know the steps instinctively, and me no.
You were into Bharatnatyam, or what kind of dance you were?
Yeah.
You were into Bharatnatyam.
Yeah.
And you did some shows and all also, no?
Yeah, I used to give performances. Even before I got married, I had to perform for Anand also.
What perform for Anand? In some shows?
Yeah.
Amazing. But after marriage, you could not continue the...
No, I gave 1 or 2 performances, then we were in Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
But then because we were traveling so much, it became very difficult to keep in touch.
By the way, actually, there was one question which I forgot to ask in this closing eyes game, so I'll ask openly. Who is the real boss in house?
I think Akhil is the real boss in the house. At 8 o'clock in the morning, we will do anything he says if we'll get ready for school. So I think he's the real boss in the house.
Yeah, unfortunately, you said we cannot get him in the show today, right?
Yes. Today he said he doesn't want to.
Then bad luck. I was hoping that I'll get him to ask some questions.
Never. If he changes his mind, yes, but he said he would not want to be there today.
Sure. What is your funniest experience in travel together? Hang on. Before that, let me ask this. Share the story about this Berlin novelty. No, that was hilarious. It's there in the book, but it will be nice if you can do this.
This while crossing.
Yeah. Well, so one of these typical. I was in a bad mood after losing a game, and Aruna is trying her best to cheer me up.
You lost 2 games.
But I could only lose 1 game a day, but I lost the biggest.
Which tournament?
Dortmund.
And I mean, Aruna dug deep into her repertoire.
I know, I kept quiet, okay? I didn't open my mouth at all.
No, and the usual,
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you didn't say anything in this one, but normally she would say something like, cheer up, it'll get better tomorrow, this and that. Which she had said the previous day, but after the second loss, she kind of gave up. And, but I was so waiting for the bleeding obvious to be told to me that when it didn't come, I said, what, you're not going to say anything? And she said, oh, well, okay, then I'll perform. So she said, cheer up, things will get better. This and that. I said, is that the best you can do? If you have a novelty in the Berlin, that would be more useful than this advice. And by the way, I didn't. It's not like I lost to Berlin that day, but anyway. And then Aruna said, if I had a novelty in the Berlin, I wouldn't be married to you. And then that actually clinched the argument. So it was very nice.
How many times Anand have said, when he lost and he said, I cannot play chess, I should do something else?
Many times actually. In fact, even as early as 98, 2000. In fact, many times like I'll tell Anand, you remember 2000 Linares, you told me this. Yeah, in 2000 I told you this. Well, I guess when, you want to do so well and you work so hard and I think that way chess is by far the most punishing game. I guess when you lose a game in chess, I think it's the most punishing thing. And for me, I think in all the years that I've watched Anand, even now if I go for a chess tournament, if I see him, he's in a bad position and he's trying desperately, somehow to save it. I think it's very difficult for me to watch.
Yeah. I was also thinking that chess is one of the most brutal game. Like imagine, let's say I'm playing badminton or football and I'm leading with a heavy score. And I make one single mistake, I will not lose all my advantage.
Sure.
But in chess, I can be completely winning, one bad move and then it can be completely upside down.
Goes almost immediately.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think chess is by far the most punishing game because somehow everything is so internal. You internalize all your feelings. It's quite difficult. And like some days, especially during the World Championship matches, like there are days Anand will come back and you can see that there's nothing more that the brain can take. And normally I would examine his mails to see how much stress that has been under. So normally, in fact, before a world championship, he'll plan, okay, game 1, game 2, let me finish these nails, and I'll start with these nails. There are games where it actually starts bleeding. So, like night I would put Vaseline or something. No, not to say that, it's a habit, but imagine the amount of stress that, that he's under, especially, as you may know, in the World Championship, in the end, he's playing the game and, I think each World Championship definitely, there is a mental toll that it takes on you.
Absolutely. No, and also this nail biting, I think many players are having. For me personally, I am also constantly biting my lips, and sometimes I don't even realize that I'm doing this.
Sure.
And somebody has to point out, what are you doing? And then I'm like, yeah, probably I'm lost in some thoughts. So, you mentioned that during a tournament, you have this thing like you cannot get angry with him. How do you sync your routine when you are going with Anand? Like he will have his own rhythm.
Yeah, I guess for us, we never really, thought about, is this a routine, is this not a routine? Kind of, we just got into it. And I think for Anand, he kind of just assumed that, it just happens like that. It's not like we sat and planned that this would be his routine. I think also because soon after wedding, we started traveling and kind of that became our life. And okay, there are times when you do feel lonely, but there are times where, you had such a lovely time in so many tournaments, visiting so many countries, so many cultures. So it's a bit of everything. And then if the tournament goes exceedingly well, you have such pleasant memories of that place. Like Mexico for us, we would go there in an instant because there's so many positive memories associated with that country. Monaco, so many tournaments, so many years we've spent there, such lovely memories. Linares, Vaikensee, the number of years Anand has been to Vaikensee. I have been to Vaikensee at least 8-9 years. Easily. So it's just so many memories that build up over the years, and kind of, I think it was nice that I was able to travel with Anand, for 16 years. That now when he goes to a tournament and he says, "Oh, I'm in Vaikensee in this hotel," like kind of picture, okay, he's here, this is this hotel, this is how his room looks like, and these are the restaurants he would eat in. And sometimes he'll say, that Italian there, that waitress asked about you. So I guess it was nice that, that there are reference points already. Like now there are so many new tournaments I've never been to. So like sometimes you'll say, why don't you come to this tournament or something? And then I have to say, this place, how this house, the hotel, show me the room, show me the restaurant. So okay, for me also it's been a learning curve in the last few years.
Actually, surprisingly, Surya, the restaurant we were going to all the time in Vaik, she has never been to it. It didn't exist then before. We never found our way to that restaurant.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know if it has been there for the last 3 or 5 years or something, but definitely it wasn't there when we were playing in 2010 and so on. No, not the Michelin star. This is one right on the beach. And we were not going that far. We were tending to go the other direction.
But even this year, very few players were going. I don't remember there were many players. Only we were going mostly. No one else was actually going there.
We were going. I thought I saw one other person there, but yeah, it wasn't on their radar.
Yeah, probably because everybody has this image. Yeah, like it was never open, so it is probably always closed, and it's in some isolated place, so nobody ventures there.
Yeah, but for us it was perfect because both the hotels we could meet there.
Yeah, exactly. That was like the perfect middle point. So, Aruna, like when you are, let's say, when you are going to a restaurant with chess players will always be chess players. Like they will be talking in their own language. Have you ever felt isolated in that way? Because I can totally imagine that we all are with Anand and we are just talking about chess games with all these notations. And how do you feel about that? How did you get over this? Like chess players having their own language.
I think I've not been used to anything else. So for me, it seems normal.
Yeah, if Anand is not talking about chess, then something is going wrong already. Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll tell you a nice story. Once we went to the Indian embassy in Madrid, and they were hosting some mathematicians who would come to the World Mathematics Congress in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
and they were soon going to have that Congress in India some years later. So the Indian embassy invited them over and so on. And I was there, and at first, one of the mathematicians, I think Spanish wife he had, right? Or maybe he was Spanish as well. And so she started speaking to Aruna, assuming that she was also a mathematician's wife. And she said, no, I'm a chess player's wife. So in the beginning, it's like, oh, what is that like? What are you doing here? And then within 2 minutes, they realized it's exactly the same. So, all the wives, they realized all the men were sitting there and speaking about mathematics. Of course, there were some female mathematicians, but the ones with the male, the males were mathematicians, the wives were, yeah, of course, they're back in their world. And so, in 2 seconds, everyone connected, which was very funny.
Yeah, no, this is a very typical problem. We used to have this in Baksodan also, no? In this, for instance, in this restaurants, Kuchina or Bela, we will be talking, and even when the bill comes and we are talking about some variation, I think after a certain point they understood that they are from some different planet and they will be constantly talking in some different language. Yeah. Yeah,
and some days we're in a hurry and some days we're in no hurry, and they realized we operated to our own rhythm.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Only Peter Leko will be very peacefully eating. I think he was the only guy who was doing it very normally in a very graceful way. We will always be like completely lost otherwise. Like either we are talking constantly on chess or we are just finishing.
I thought Kazim was also.
Kazim also, but no, Peter Leko had this thing. He would sit and order as Branzino, and he would explain to the waiter in great detail how he wanted it clean. So, can they remove it no, he didn't want them to touch it. He said, because if they touch it, they're removing too much of the good stuff. So can he please not do this, just grill it like this. And the conversation, and because he speaks German excellently, his order would take so long, the rest of us, afterwards, I think we decided to order.
Yeah, only Sashi can match this. Turkey salad with I remember this one, he goes and says, turkey salad without turkey. And then I think some waiter took the order. He knew Sashi, but the other waiter who came to deliver the order, she had no clue. Yeah, she goes like, "Here is one turkey salad without turkey." And that was very funny.
Yeah. She didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sasi and Leko were special in their orders.
Yeah. So I will not take more time, and I just want to thank you once again for joining. I'm sure you guys are having some plans, special plans. Okay, you cannot go out probably, but Swiggy will do, I guess.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. No, I told, when Aruna asked me, how long it will take, I said like roughly around 1 hour or probably more. And then she's like, okay, in that case, Anand is not going to get food. So I will not do that. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Aruna, for joining.
Thank you so much, Surya.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And tomorrow we'll be having the final show, right?
Yeah,
at 4 o'clock, yeah?
Well, I thought you were going to announce, but okay, yes.
Yeah. 4 o'clock. Okay, 4 o'clock. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. See you then.
Yeah. See you. Hi. So, what a show. Hang on, I'm kind of new to this Zoom thing, so new to this OBS, so just give me a little bit time. I have couple of announcements to make, which I will do as soon as I fix this thing. I'm not a big expert here. You know what, let me get rid of this frame so that way it's easy. So a few announcements that I want to make. One is tomorrow we'll have the final episode with Anand at 4 o'clock, and I'm sorry guys, I could not see the live chat somehow today. I was so so much into the conversation that I really could not see it. Thanks for being nice in chat. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed taking this interview, and it was really nice of them that they gave that time on this day when I'm sure they have other plans also, but they were very nice. The another thing that I wanted to add was tomorrow mostly I'll be taking audience questions, but from what I understand, for me it's also a bit difficult to talk to them and also take live questions directly. So I would appreciate if you guys either send the questions in YouTube or Insta or Facebook. Yeah, just drop in your questions and I'll pick. I'll not be able to take all the questions obviously, but I'll try to pick as much as possible. See you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We'll be doing lots of questions and I'll have some positions also. If you like the video, please subscribe and share. And yeah, if you do not like the video, please write in comment section where I can improve. Thank you so much for watching this. Bye bye.